Good morning. I'm Jeff Zofel, Village Administrator here. I'd like to welcome all of you to the second annual State of the Village Speech. Before we get started, I'd like to thank a few people here. I'd like to thank the Economic Development Corporation and the Greater Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce for helping to promote and support this event. I'd also like to thank Schaefer Greenhouses, a local business for almost 90 years, for all the floral displays you've seen here this morning. Now, before we get to move right along now, I'd like to introduce Village President Matt Browley.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome. I'd like to first begin by acknowledging and thanking the several elected officials that are here this morning. From the U.S. Congress, Congressman Bill Foster. And representing State Senator Linda Holmes is Christine Hannon from her office. And then we also have Representative Keith Wheeler. And Representative Stephanie Kifwet. And from Mark Batnick's office, we have Debbie with us today. And then we also have Representative Steve Anderson. I also need to acknowledge and recognize the village board members that are here this morning. We have Denny Lee, Doug Marisek, Teresa Sperling, and Steve Youngerman. Also do need to acknowledge the two good friends of mine, the mayors from north and south of here. We have from the city of Aurora, Tom Weisner. And from the village of Oswego, Brian LeClaire. Also present, we have representatives from the area school districts, fire districts, park districts, and library districts that serve Montgomery. We appreciate their attendance as well. Once again, welcome, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I appreciate your interest in Montgomery and hope that you will be as proud as we are of what we've accomplished in 2014 and what we hope to achieve in the future. I sincerely value your interest and support. On February 17th, 1858, the village of Montgomery was incorporated. At that time, the village was made up of about 30 homes and had a small but growing population of less than 200. We are proud of our heritage as we meet today on the 157th anniversary of our incorporation. Much has changed from that humble beginning, and I hope our first village president, Ralph Gray, would be proud to see the way that Montgomery has grown and evolved over the years. Our greatest accomplishment in 2014 was the passage of the 1% non-home rule sales tax referendum in November. That this is predicted to generate $1.8 million annually for specific critical infrastructure repairs and maintenance. This road maintenance is typically mentioned by the village board and by Montgomery residents as a major priority, and yet our available funds were not allowing us to repair and maintain roads at the desired level. Revenue generated by this sales tax will allow for investment in road infrastructure, repair, and replacement, while minimizing the financial burden that would be shouldered by Montgomery residents. Instead, the increased sales tax will allow the cost of road maintenance to be shared by everybody who drives on our roads and shops in our village. The village board enacted this new sales tax this January. It will go into effect in July, and we should start to see revenues this coming October. I cannot offer enough appreciation to our residents who voted in favor of this referendum, who, while tired of more taxation, saw the great need for infrastructure stewardship. Also wanted to thank the volunteers of the referendum committee, most specifically Mara Johnson, a resident, and then also our former village president, Marilyn McElhaney. I would like to thank everybody else also on that committee for their thorough and compelling efforts in educating the public, and my fellow board members for their unyielding support when faced with opposition. Without all of us pulling together as a community, we would have missed this rare opportunity to accomplish what I believe is the most significant effort of my tenure and one that will pay dividends to our children and grandchildren. Since controlling taxes for our residents is a priority, along with the sales tax increase, we proposed the area's first local property tax relief program that will rebate nearly all, and for some families more than all, of the additional sales tax, while still providing the funding essential to maintain a long-term road improvement program. The village will issue the first property tax rebate checks in 2016. In the two most significant statewide highway projects to be completed in Montgomery since construction of the Route 30 bypass in 1959, IDOT completed the Route 30 widening project from Briarcliff Road to Route 34 and is nearing completion of the reconstruction of the Route 30-31 interchange. Combined, these two projects injected over $44 million into the local and regional economy. More importantly, these improvements will greatly increase the ability of our families, businesses, and visitors to safely, efficiently, and conveniently travel throughout Montgomery for many years. To continue our efforts in improving transportation facilities in Montgomery, in 2014, we actively participated in IDOT's Route 30 Phase 1 study, which is the first step in widening the remainder of Route 30 from Route 31 west to 47. Working with other stakeholders, we expect a preferred alternative to be determined later this year. One last project successfully completed during this past year was Phase 2 of our Boulder Hill Water Main Replacement Project. For several years, we have been aware of system issues throughout the Boulder Hill subdivision, including water quality and aging water mains. In response to our engineering and public works professionals, developed a long-range plan, and our village board, knowing that inaction placed a burden on the residents of Boulder Hill, accepted the challenge to increase Boulder Hill water rates in order to fund improvements of the water system. 2 years ago, with the plan and funding in place, the board initiated the largest village water main replacement project we have ever undertaken as we embarked on a multi-year, $8 million Boulder Hill water main replacement program. To date, we've installed more than 21,000 feet, or 4 miles, of new water main, along with water service line connections to homes, water valves, and fire hydrants, all designed to eliminate rusty water and increase dependability of water service and emergency protection needs, and to provide clear and clean drinking water to our Boulder Hill residents. As a measure of the effectiveness of this program, we have seen the number of water main breaks in the construction area drop from 30 over the previous 3 years to 0 in 2014. I feel confident in saying that this project has delivered as promised. And I would also like to add that, and thank Cindy Sansale, who lives down on by the Civic Center, who started coming to our board meetings years ago and brought this issue to our attention. I emailed her, and she wasn't able to be here today, but I did want all of you guys to know that we certainly appreciate anytime residents bring their concerns to our attention. During the past year, we have seen several new businesses open their doors in the village. In July, we welcomed Sam's Club to Montgomery with a grand opening celebration at their new store at the Ogden Hill Shopping Center. This is an example of a pro-business atmosphere found in the village, and we are happy to have them in our community. Sam's Club provides employment opportunities for area residents, as well as expanding our local shopping options. Other commercial construction completed this year include the Murphy Oil gas station on Route 30 near Walmart. And we had businesses moving into existing buildings, including 2 new restaurants, Taco Madre on the west side of town and La Esquina in the downtown area. And we also welcomed Pet Supply Plus on Douglas Road. Projects still in the development or construction phases include O'Reilly Auto Parts, new store on Douglas Road, the new Riverview restaurant that is under construction at River and Mill Street, and La Chiquita Foods, which is currently renovating the space previously occupied by Montgomery Marketplace and will, when completed this spring, include a full-service grocery store, bakery, deli, and restaurant. And lastly, Niners Grill, a new family-oriented sit-down restaurant that will occupy the former Applebee's site on Route 30. Successful attraction of these businesses to the village can be attributed to the pro-business atmosphere created by our current village board and the dedicated efforts of our staff in conjunction with the MEDC. Niners Grill provides just one example of this cooperation. In the fall, Rich Young, our Director of Community Development, and Shar Fiore, the Director of the MEDC, participated in the Chicago International Council of Shopping Centers conference. At that conference, a meeting with a local commercial real estate firm led to this new exciting opportunity. Other joint ventures during the year have included retention visits with our largest companies to discuss any issues that they may have that we can assist with, facilitating a tour for our real estate brokers of available industrial sites, and the creation of the Douglas Road Task Force. This includes property owners in the corridor, which is tasked with investigating options for revitalizing this corridor. We have seen renewed interest in partially built-out residential subdivisions. It's encouraging to note that we issued 31 permits for new residential construction in 2014, up from 25 the previous year. Ryland Homes continues to build out the remaining 54 lots in the Saratoga Springs and Orchard Prairie North developments, and Raleigh Homes has the last 2 single-family homes under construction in Fieldstone Place and has restarted construction of the multi-family townhome portion of the development, with 47 units remaining. We are very happy to see this new construction and the approaching completion of these subdivisions. The overall number of building permits issued in 2014 totaled 508, which included new construction on, as well as permits for additions, fences, and other alterations. Our village board believes very strongly that municipal government exists to serve the needs of our residents by providing necessary, meaningful, and effective public services. As a husband and father, one of my greatest concerns is the safety of my family. And one of my greatest concerns as village president, or one of my top priorities as village president, is to provide our residents with a safe environment in which to work and raise their families. When residents on the far west side expressed concerns that they could not hear the emergency weather siren, we took their concerns very seriously. We budgeted funds and pursued the installation of an additional weather warning siren to eliminate gaps in coverage that existed in our system. I'm pleased to say that this past November, the siren was put into full operation and providing our residents with additional layer of emergency notification and peace of mind that the village is responsive to their needs. Further, I've worked with our Chief of Police and Director of Public Works to institute and promote safety programs and policies, such as community policing, neighborhood watch assistance, and stop sign warrant studies. These methods have proven to deliver effective, timely efforts that provide real safety improvements where they're needed. Our Public Works and engineering staff regularly perform traffic studies to determine where stop signs are necessary to provide real safety benefits. Our police chief and his staff have met with numerous individuals and groups, working side by side to proactively address residents' concerns, ranging from neighborhood speeding to their fears about crime and children's safety. Another priority for me and the village board is providing high-quality services while minimizing the financial burden to residents and businesses. As a board, we're fiscally conservative and very sensitive to the economic pressures that many residents are facing. I'm proud to report that for the second year in a row, the village froze its property tax levy on existing structures. And as discussed earlier, the village will be rebating a portion of these property tax bills beginning in 2016. One final example of a cost-saving initiative. In 2014, our community development staff and our engineering firm completed the lengthy process of gathering information and applying to FEMA's community rating system regarding their flood insurance program. CRS is a rating system created to reward communities that go above and beyond the FEMA's minimum requirements by providing communities with a numerical rating that corresponds to a reduction in homeowners' flood insurance premiums. The ratings are based on a 1 to 10 numerical system, with 1 being the highest. The village was provided with a list of potential projects that we could undertake and materials needed to complete these projects, with the goal of reducing homeowner flood insurance rates. I'm happy to report that in December, we received word that the Village of Montgomery has been granted a preliminary CRS rating of 5. We're very proud of this, since no community in the state of Illinois has a rating higher than 5, and in fact only 9 communities in the state have achieved this rating. What this means is that after May 1st of this year, residents with flood insurance coverage on their property will see an approximate discount of 25% of their flood insurance premiums. Staff and EEI should be commended for their efforts for lowering the rates on these residents. As a village board, we pride ourselves on being fiscally responsible and continually seek cost-saving measures in order to ensure the best use of our tax dollars. We continue to provide great value for our residents by doing more with less and by utilizing volunteers where possible to assist with the workload. We have an excellent team in place that works well together, with the board providing the vision for our future and staff working to make that a reality. I want to acknowledge and thank all village employees for their efforts on behalf of this community. We have an excellent group of employees, and I really value their hard work. In addition to employees, we have many dedicated residents who give of their time to serve on various commissions and committees. Members of the Plan Commission meet monthly to make recommendations to the village board on zoning, land use, and planning matters. The beautification plans and promotes projects that enhance and highlight the village's natural beauty, such as planting flowers on the Mill Street Bridge, installing birdhouses to attract bluebirds, and recognizing residents' efforts with our Holiday Decorations Award Contest. In 2014, they also began a floral display contest to recognize outstanding summer floral displays at homes and businesses. Members of our Historic Preservation Commission operate the Settlers Cottage Museum and plan the annual cemetery walk. Last year, they offered a walking tour of historic downtown Montgomery, which was so popular it was repeated again at Montgomery Fest. In addition, they sought and received a grant from the Kane County Riverboat Fund to reprint the Montgomery history book that had been out of print for several years. Community and business leaders, many of whom are in the room, also serve on our board of fire and police commissioners, the police pension board, and the revolving fund committee. All of these groups help the village to carry out its mission and enrich the community. I'd like to thank and acknowledge any member of a commission or committee that's here today and also that's not here. To help build communication with our residents and to create a sense of community, the village hosts several events throughout the village each year. I hold a monthly Mayor on the Move event at convenient locations throughout the village to provide an opportunity for residents to drop in and talk with me on an informal basis. We want to hear about what's important to our residents and how we can work together to strengthen and improve our community. In the spring, we team up with Community Christian Church to offer the Easter egg hunt that's attended by roughly 1,000 people each year. We offer concerts in the park in the summer, and of course, Montgomery Fest is the highlight of the year. In 2014, we had record attendance and our best fest yet. During this past year, we also had a special showing of Prison Terminal, The Last Days of Private Jack Hall, an Oscar-nominated documentary produced by Montgomery resident Edgar Behrens. In the fall, we enjoy the annual River Run, which this year was organized by Engineering Enterprises and served to raise $7,000 for the Montgomery VFW. The year ends with the Festival of Trees and tree lighting ceremony, which is a joint event with our Chamber of Commerce. We had great participation by our schools and scout groups and by our businesses who decorated the trees. In addition, throughout the year, we hold monthly senior events and lunch and offer a monthly game day for our seniors. It has also been very exciting over the last few years to have the bald eagle soaring over Montgomery. So last year, we offered a free presentation to the community all about eagles. this boardroom was packed with people who came to learn a little bit more about these new residents in town. We believe that these community events are important as they allow us to capitalize on things that are unique and what makes Montgomery special. As we build community spirit and associate with one another, we enrich each other's lives. To be most effective, it is also important that we look outside of our borders and look for opportunities to work cooperatively with our surrounding communities, our region, and our state. Locally, we have begun working with our neighboring towns on intergovernmental projects to reduce cost or increase efficiencies through joint purchasing and sharing staff and equipment, among other possible options. The Village of Montgomery received a CMAP grant to study shared services with the Village of Oswego and the United City of Yorkville. The three communities have met several times and have found a number of mutually beneficial areas to work toward. You will be hearing more about this in the coming years as we continue to explore ways to maximize efficiencies. In 2014, I joined other area mayors on our second annual kayak trip down the Fox River. This year we traveled from North Aurora to Yorkville in order to advocate for recreational use of our greatest natural resource. We have a long-term goal to open up the river for canoeing and kayaking and are working cooperatively with surrounding communities to pursue those options for both recreational and economic development reasons. Regionally, the village is a founding member of the Metro West Council of Government. This group, comprised of municipalities from Kane, Kendall, and DeKalb counties, has joined together to pursue and promote common goals. Metro West hosts a legislative barbecue in the summer and is conducting a legislative breakfast later this month. At these events, our state legislators are invited to attend and update us about pending legislation and listen to our concerns. In the spring, Metro West participates in a drive down to Springfield, which provides us with the opportunity to meet not only with our legislators, but also representatives from state agencies. This last year at the drive down, we were able to meet with then Governor Quinn and shared our top priorities with him, which included protecting of local revenues collected for us by the state and public safety pension reform. Another topic that we consistently discuss with our legislators, and something that we believe strongly in, is the principle of local control. That local elected officials are the most responsible, I didn't say that, guys, the most responsive and the most accountable. Can we cut that out of the online version? Most responsive and most accountable to citizens of their communities and should have the flexibility to design laws and ordinances that best serve their community. We have been leading the charge in the Illinois legislature to advance additional powers for mid-sized communities such as Montgomery. Powers that would allow additional regulation related to property maintenance, code enforcement, building codes, landlord regulations, and other similar powers. These powers are not based on the idea of raising revenue. In fact, they do not authorize any regulation that would raise any tax or fee, not one penny, but only allow for regulations that enhance police protection and community standards. By advocating for these powers, we ensure that we can make our community prosperous and safe for all residents and businesses. We've accomplished a lot in 2014 and are confident that the new year brings even more opportunities. In order to keep it brief, here are the top 4 things that we're looking forward to with enthusiasm in 2015. Number 1, commercial development. We're looking forward to a new 4-unit multi-tenant building that's been approved and will start construction in the spring in the Ogden Hill Shopping Center. At least one of those units will be a restaurant, which we're excited about. And we also look forward to the opening of O'Reilly Auto Parts, La Chiquita Foods, and the new expanded Riverview restaurant. Number 2, planning for roadway improvements. With the passage of the infrastructure-focused sales tax referendum, we are excited to begin planning for our roadway improvements that'll start construction in 2016. So 2015 will be a planning year and we anticipate the new revenue will be available for use in 2016. We've begun working on a comprehensive roadway improvements program designed to include more roads, maintain a higher level of service, and shorten roadway repair cycles to acceptable levels. Number 3, the TIF district development. The village and the MEDC have been marketing the TIF 2 area centered along Alcott Road and Orchard Roads. And I'm pleased to announce that the building that once stood vacant at 1266 Orchard Road will be the new Northern Illinois regional home for Michaels Corporation from Brownsville, Wisconsin. Michaels will which provides services to various utility companies and contractors, will bring 60 new jobs to the area and will be a great addition to this corridor. Also in the Alcott Road area, Heinz Building Supply, which recently purchased Mike's Deck, will be opening up a new retail building store at 2175 Alcott Road. Number 4, the grand opening of the Stewart Sports Complex. During 2014, the Fox Valley Park District completed their $9.5 million expansion of facilities at the complex, adding 12 soccer fields, 4 lit baseball fields, and a dog park. These new tournament-grade facilities will be kicking off their first official season in 2015, and we are very excited to have this new venue in the community. The Park District has also begun to work on upgrades to Jericho Lake that will add 2 shelters, new restrooms, and provide a bike path around the lake. We certainly have some far-reaching goals that go beyond 2015 that will help move us forward. We certainly continue to follow and advocate for the Phase 1 study for the widening of Route 30 all the way west to Route 47. We look forward to working with IDOT and our legislators on the ongoing engineering study and the future improvements to Route 30 that will eliminate traffic congestion and improve driver safety. And finally, I will continue to support the planning and construction of a Metra commuter rail station in downtown Montgomery. Village Administrator Zolfel, as well as our community development, finance, public works, and engineering departments, continue our efforts with Metra to meet that goal. Although it may be many years away, I view this as a crucial asset to the future development of our downtown. Before we conclude, I would like to once again mention the MEDC, which is a valued partner with the village. The MEDC works daily to promote economic development, expansion, and diversification. The MEDC helps support and sustain existing businesses, and along with the village, promotes Montgomery to attract new businesses to the community. The MEDC also offers networking events and workforce development opportunities that are a great resource for our local businesses. The Chamber is also a great asset to our business community. Their sole function is to support our local businesses. The Chamber offers monthly networking events and educational luncheons, and I would encourage any businesses that are not already involved with the Chamber or the MEDC to check out the opportunities and the benefits of joining. I'd also like to express special appreciation for our business owners, developers that are here today. I know that there are so many who are actively involved, and I apologize if I've missed anybody. We appreciate their involvement and their investment in our community. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for attending this morning. Working together, I know that we can continue to move Montgomery forward and make it an even better place to live and work. Thank you.